Hi everyone, here's an in-depth look at Lime Rock Park in the iRacing Formula IR-04. So they've just done a race run here, and this was the quickest lap of the lot at a 50.1. The weather's a private session, but roughly TT weather. Now on entry, you're looking to brake between the 2 and the 1 marker. And you go down 1 gear on initial entry. Now the kind of important thing through this initial long-term one is smooth on entry, and then just keeping it smooth through the whole long corner. To get the maximum out of this car around here, you want it quite on the nose on aero balance. So if you run wide of the initial apex, you're going to have to bring the car in quite aggressively to turn it around the corner, which will cause oversteer. Or understeer if you've got an understeer setup. So you kind of want to cut onto a tight initial line and just keep it nice and steady through the mid apex of the corner. So down 1 on entry, then you go down an additional 2 gears into 3rd. Now you definitely want 3rd here for the power out of the 2nd apex. And if you've gotten the corner just right, you should drift out to about the middle of the road and then be able to cut back into this 2nd apex to exit out and cut into a narrow apex. Now full speed. I kind of played around with the gears a little bit there, but the car was quite stable through the whole corner, so it didn't lose any time sliding. Now on your exit, it's very important to hit the left-hand apex, as the left-hand apex kind of sets you up to the next right-hander. If you kind of aren't aggressive enough with your inputs, you need to get the car in and up on this curb. And a lot of people enter quite wide into this corner, which is fine, but then the car doesn't quite make the left-hand apex. And if you don't make this left-hand apex, you're not going to be able to cut it back for the next right-hander apex. And if you're entering here from about the middle of the track, either about half a car length to the right, half a car width to the right, then you're not really going to be able to go full throttle and get that good exit for the run down the back straight, which is quite important. So you kind of provoke the car into this left-hand apex, and then you can just go full throttle and cut back to the right. The car will feel a little bit unsettled if it's set up correctly into that left-hander, but if you can drive it on the kind of nose and minimize the oversteer, then it should set you up for a good run on the exit. Now here into the worst part of this track. You want to brake into a straight line. I don't really have any braking marker, but I'm kind of braking and looking at this curb and sort of judging how far before it I need to brake. And the most important thing here is don't overshoot your braking marker. You lose a little bit of time if you brake a bit early and a bit conservatively, but if you overshoot it, you're going to understeer past the first apex and clip the second curb with the front wing, and it'll probably break the car, if not throw it offline. And there's pretty much a whole run over, if not your race over. So you're entering quite conservatively, getting the car slowed, and kind of not looking at the left-hand side for a braking marker, but focusing on this curb. And you want to get the front right wheel up very close to this. The closer you can do, the better. And from that point on, once you've got the car to that nice apex with the front right wheel, you can just accelerate up the hill and kind of just slide the car in between those apexes. This is a very easy corner to muck up, and certainly one of the more difficult corners in iRacing, particularly for a car like this, whereas if you hit one of the curbs, it's pretty much going to be over. Now through this next right-hander, you've got to kind of quite aggressively provoke the car into the corner, because ideally, at least in this kind of weather, you're not wanting to lift. You also kind of try to minimize the scrub, because if you don't get it rotating well enough on your initial input, the car will scrub out wide, which will add time, and sometimes it will catch the grass with the rear, which can either get you a 1x or to slow you down. So take a nice tight line, make sure you use all the track and get it into the initial apex, then just run it out wide. Fairly straightforward. Then the same through here. The last corner is a bit of a nothing corner. You've just got to steer into it and try and minimize your steering inputs to not scrub any speed. That's a lap. A short but a very technical track. Here's a lap in full speed.